Hi, everybody. This is Richard Schelp with Executive Speakers Bureau, and this is the 12th edition of Behind the Curtain. In Behind the Curtain, we tell you a little secret about one of our favorite speakers, and we teach you something that can help you with your speaking business. Today's guest is Mark Denton. Mark Denton is famous for taking a group of amateurs around the world in a yacht race and getting some incredible results. And he's also one of the top resilience and leadership presenters in the world. Welcome, Mark.
Well, that's great. And it's great to be here.
Absolutely love having somebody not only that's this great a speaker as a guest, but somebody from my favorite place in the world, the UK. So there you go.
Well, it's wonderful to be here in Memphis, Richard, and getting a chance to share some insights on this podcast.
Absolutely love it. Now, one of the things that I found so great is even though you've had a lot of accomplishments in your life, this race was a humongous accomplishment, something that is a lifetime achievement. But you grew up as far from the sea as you possibly could in the UK. Can you explain how you got from there to being this yacht racing guy? Talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, I mean, it was a strange story. I mean, it was a huge opportunity in one way or another, but it came to me in the middle of my 20s. And prior to that, I had grown up in the middle of the country. And actually, I had ended up going and working in London. And in doing so, I worked out that's exactly what I didn't want to do. I just didn't want to be in the city. I was working in the media industry. It just didn't work for me.
Right.
And a friend of mine's dad was taking a yacht from the UK down to the Canary Islands. And he said, look, I can see you're not happy. Why don't you go and help my dad, crew his yacht down towards the Canary Islands, and then maybe you can work out what you want to do.
Sure.
And in doing that, I worked out what I wanted to do. I wanted to go sailing. And so I ran away to the sea, and the rest is history. And lucky enough, ended up in the selection procedure to lead a team in this round the world yacht race.
Did a few people question that huge change in your life?
Oh, I was questioning it as in, what am I doing here? But I just absolutely loved sailing. Sailing's a real kind of challenge. It's like a physical game of chess. It's you against nature, you against the competition. It's just an all-encompassing sport. It's really challenging. I just found it so satisfying. And the more I got into it, the more that I wanted to do, and slowly but surely, I was lucky enough to come across some great opportunities that led me to the selection procedure for this great race. And, I think everybody was watching on thinking, who does he think he is? And, how the hell is he going to pull this off and everything else? And I was also kind of thinking that as well, but I got selected. And then I just couldn't turn it down.
Well, I got to tell you is that I love, and I'm a huge believer in doing what you love. And if you do what you love, you can excel and be the best at that. And so you show that with your sailing, but also you show it with your speaking career too.
Yeah. I mean, and I think the same thing applies to both. You've got to be open to learning. You've got to be open to not getting it right and, working out how to get it back on track and everything else. I mean, to be honest, the speaking world is as almost tumultuous as leading a team around the world in the world's toughest yacht race. It's, it's not an easy game, but you've got to have the same kind of resilience.
You absolutely do. Well, it's incredible that you made that transition, but one of the things that, as that we do here on this podcast is we try to teach some of the speakers out there, those people who are watching, try to teach them something that can help them with their speaking business. And one of the things that you have done so well, and I got to see it today in our office with your presentation, is you have this way of delivering a presentation in which you feel like you are part of a movie, watching a movie. It's a true experience. Can you talk to them a little bit about that process?
Yeah, I mean, so I've spent a lot of time on the storytelling around this thing, and I tell it like a film. I start at the start and I end at the end, and I take the audience on a roller coaster of a journey in between, as if they were part of the team. And we've had that feedback a lot. It feels like that to them. And so it's full of ups and downs and twists and turns. They don't know where it's going or what's going to happen next. And sometimes we got it right and sometimes we didn't. And some of the biggest learning is in how we managed to pull it back when it didn't go our way. And I think just, taking the audience with us on that journey, that's what this is all about. And I've really, honed that craft over the last 20 years or so of telling this story.
Oh, you've done it. You've done a fabulous job of telling that story. And what I loved even more than that, and I'm a guy who's watched a billion presentations. So if you see something unique in a presentation, it stands out for you. And when I watched your presentation, I was really cheering for your team. I was really thinking I was almost a part of the team. And I was sitting on the edge of my seat, really going, okay, what's going to happen next? Where are they going to end up? That is huge, because if you get people laughing, they learn. And if you get them way involved, they learn even more. So talk about that a little bit.
Well, yeah, I mean, so my whole thing is just tell the story. Don't need to preach to people. They'll run their own parallel story for themselves.
Yes.
Even though they're immersed in ours. It's a story about leadership and teamwork in turbulent times. And actually, ultimately, it doesn't matter what business you're working for right now. That is the case. So, I just kind of immerse them in it, and they take the learning out of it. I never preach. I never tell people what they should be doing or any of that stuff. I just tell the story, share what we learn. And what we learn is also what will help them, find their way through their own kind of challenges. And of course, there's many of those out there right now.
Oh, yeah. But you do that so well. If you're talking to these people out there that they're formulating their presentation, maybe they want to tweak their presentation, how can they use your process? How can they use how you approach a presentation to help themselves?
Well, I think what's really, really key with speaking, you can focus on lots of different things in order to try and get business and become a speaker and all of that stuff. Where I've really focused is on my speech and make that as engaging and as, immersive and as inspirational as possible. So that people get huge impact out of it, a huge learning out of it, but also so that you can sell off the stage, Richard. That people are sat there, they've had such a great experience that they go away and tell others. And I liken it to going watching an incredible film where you come out of the cinema at the end and it has changed you in some way.
Yes, absolutely.
And so I guess what I would say to people is really think long and hard. How can you really bring your story to life and your learning to life in a way that's truly engaging for people? Because if you do that, you can really move hearts and minds.
You also do a very nice job of incorporating your audio visual. Here we have behind us, just so you know, it's one of the slides that you'll see. But your AV enhances your presentation. It brings you into the middle of it many times.
100%. I mean, I could just stand up without any backdrop whatsoever, but we have all these assets of videos and incredible, pictures that really bring to life what happened out there. 400 hours of footage we had from the race. And look, if you've got those assets, use them to your best effect. And, I've got multimedia all the way through my speech, and it just makes it even more engaging. I mean, they say a picture tells 1,000 words, then a piece of video, tells 10,000 words. And, and that's why I use it. Yeah.
Oh, it's perfect. It absolutely is perfect. So I love how you're doing that. What one last piece of advice could you give them that you've learned experience-wise on stage?
Well, I'm all about, being immersive and giving people an experience. And interesting enough, the last 6 months, I've been speaking for nearly 20 years now, but the last 6 months, we've been working hard on audience participation, making it even more immersive. And I now have the audience kind of judge my leadership all the way around the world. And so when we're getting it right, We get the audience standing up and clapping. I can almost guarantee a standing ovation in every single speech.
You need to time it. You need to time it. Make sure.
Yeah, well, and so that's a golden thing. But also when we get it wrong, they sit there and cross their arms and looking grumpy. And so whatever you can do, to connect with your audience and bring them into what it is that you're trying to do, so that they really kind of, get the learning and immerse themselves in it. I think the more you can do that's what makes some speakers that are really a kind of a bit special stand out from the also-rans.
And you are a living representation of it. You are always out there trying to perfect your craft, and you really do it. You will see it if somebody watches the presentation. You'll see it during your entire journey that's what you're trying to do with your team. And you see it with this presentation. Absolutely fabulous stuff. Mark, terrific answers. I love you as a guest. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you, audience, for your attention. And you stay tuned for future episodes when you can truly find out what is behind the curtain.